Hello there, darlings. Welcome to the Clockwork Cabaret. They are old, they are not hip. They are the weird answers that you didn't know you needed or wanted. And now, for a friendly reminder, this show is for adults. That darling DJ duo, Emmett Davenport and Lady Attercop, drink cocktails, have potty mouths, and at least one of them was raised by wolves.
For the Clockwork Cabaret.
Hooray!
I am Emmett Davenport.
And I am Lady Attercop.
And
we are full of science!
We are full of science. I just had my first inoculation for COVID-19, and I am very excited. My arm is a little sore, but overall I'm feeling okay. The rest of the week, who knows what will present itself, but so far I'm good. And Lady Attercop, you've already had your first.
I have. By the time that our listeners hear this podcast, I will have had my second dose.
Excellent.
Which means I'm ready to go out into the world and fist fight the disease for justice.
Ooh.
Except like that it's microscopic and that actually won't help anything. But emotionally ready to fist fight the disease for justice.
I was very excited, like you were going to become a superhero.
I did put that on my Facebook and then promptly got put in Facebook jail.
Oh.
For spreading misinformation.
That you were going to...
because at last week I became, because I got the Pfizer vaccine and I hit the point where I was like 90%, immune.
Yeah.
And so I had put on there, I am 90% immune to COVID and I'm going to fist fight it for justice. And then Facebook promptly told me that post had been removed for spreading misinformation and that I was on Facebook probation.
Oh, but that wasn't a realist. Who thought that was real?
QAnon existing on there is fine up until they start a literal armed revolt, but me putting that I'm gonna fist fight a disease is a step too far.
Apparently.
And it's good to know where the community guidelines are. I'm not sure what part of was it the threat of violence against a disease that has killed people that I personally know, or was it
justice? It was the word justice.
that I could fight it.
No, it was the fact that you used the word justice.
Maybe it was the for justice part, yes, and that was my mistake.
Yeah. Also, that's why I don't go onto that. I don't go onto that face site.
Oh gosh, Zuckerman's hellhole.
Yeah, no, I do it every single time I go on there because I have gotten an alert or something that says you have to go on there, and I go and look, and I am reminded of that it is a hellscape that I do not like. Twitter might be horrible.
Oh, it is.
And it is. But it's something that I personally enjoy. Banning Nazis is one of my favorite things that I like to go, spend 15 minutes a day reporting horrible users.
That's true. That is one of your pastimes.
It is. It is a thing that I have been doing for quite some time now. And I feel like I know it probably doesn't do anything. I'm sure the people who do the security stuff on Twitter, they don't care that I report stuff. But it makes me feel better. Facebook, I feel like anytime I report anything, it just goes into a vacuous space of nothingness. It's like an oubliette.
Yeah. No, but that's because they don't care. Literal governments have been overturned using Facebook.
Yeah.
and they just don't care
Yeah.
because they're like, well, we had 5 people monitoring this entire continent, none of whom spoke the native languages, and we're not quite sure how that coup started using Facebook to spread misinformation, but
We
we're pretty sure it's not our fault.
I'm sure there's an
No,
algorithm.
it is the apps it and I feel just like dirty crude oil is on me every time I use it, but that is where my nieces that's the social media my nieces are allowed to have right now.
Ah.
And they send drawings and group texts to the family, and so
Oh,
that's
so
why
it's
I'm on it.
adorable.
It is adorable, and I don't want to miss out on that, so I have to
Yes.
swallow my pride and
Yeah. Well,
use
no,
the book of faces.
I still have I still have my account. And I still go and look at stuff, and that is one of the few ways that my extended family can get a hold of me,
Right,
despite the
right.
fact that they have other means of communication. They have my phone number, they have my email address, they have my
Text.
actual mailing address, but yet somehow, for some reason, that particular social media thing is the only
Mm.
way that they get in touch with me. Most of the time is which them saying, "Oh, we haven't heard from you in a while. It's lovely to hear from you." Yes, because I hate this thing. I hate
Oh,
it.
it's the
I hate it
worst.
so much. Partially
You
because
know what?
every time I use it, I get hit with a whole bunch of, "Oh, you haven't been on here for a while. I'm glad to see you." Yeah, no.
I
I also only come on here and
Oh,
I
you
am
can start using
disguised.
my excuse. You've been shadow banned by Facebook.
Yes, I will.
I
Well,
didn't put a minion. I didn't attach a photo of a minion to my update. I think that's where I went wrong. I mean, I understand that I am a middle-aged white lady and therefore there should have been a minion involved, but I just don't like them that much.
no. Yeah, no, I don't quite understand
We're just
any
like
of it.
this. It's like, oh, I don't
Yeah.
like those tiny yellow
They look like
sausages.
bananas. They look like talking bananas to me.
I
I don't
always
like
thought they
them.
looked like Twinkie the Kid's steampunk cousins.
Ooh, maybe. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
ooh. That's I'm not sure if that's
It's
any
deep cut.
better. I'm not sure that's any better. Yeah. So,
For our
well,
non-American listeners, Google Twinkie the Kid. This is a real thing that we had to endure as children.
oh, it is
So
terrifying.
it's a cowboy Twinkie
There were
who
I
wants you to bite into his soft, pillowy flesh and
yeah, no, it's
consume his cream center.
there was yeah, it felt very much like cannibalism. It's like an
I've always been a
encouragement.
little suspicious of food mascots that are made of the food that you want us to
And
eat,
they're
or
encouraging
that
you.
encouraging us to eat their fellows.
It's true. Yeah, no, the Kool-Aid dude, I always questioned.
Well, he's not encouraging you to eat his fellows. He's just causing property damage, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, but he's made of the thing that he's encouraging you to drink.
In this Easter Sunday, when this episode is being released, it's not. Oh no, no! I'm losing Emmett, but follow me on this journey.
I'm making a
Is not
face.
is not the Kool-Aid Man
Are you
encouraging you to drink of his blood?
are you trying Oh. Are you
And
trying
I
to
guess therefore, and is not Twinkie the Kid encouraging you to eat of his flesh?
Oh, I
I don't know
suppose.
where I'm going with this.
I know where you're going, and I'm just gonna go with no. No.
Yes.
I mean, yes,
Yes.
cannibalism, and I don't
You
want to.
can only seek salvation
I
through the
don't.
consumption of
I don't.
themed mascots.
Well, I mean,
Emmett, I'm making a hard right turn right now. We are starting a cult.
well, we've said this before. So,
Yeah,
so are we gonna make? Well, so is our cult going to be food based?
it's going to be food mascot based, yes.
And what
And
is
I'm
it?
not saying that eventually we won't veer into cannibalism, but
Well,
that's
because
not
it's not
how I'm starting it.
okay. Well, so we had played around with the idea of the moose cult before, but but maybe our moose could be a chocolate moose.
Well, moose are well. Okay, is there a moose character
That
that
is
is endorsing some popular brand that wants us to eat him?
not that I'm aware of.
Canada, Canadian listeners, hit us up. It's like that feels like a Canadian thing to me. I don't know why. Do you
Like
have any edible moose mascots?
I'm not familiar with one.
What other
Having
well,
having grown up
what
in
other edible
Vermont,
mascot?
having grown up in Vermont, I don't remember any of those. We
You
did
didn't
have
have any
moose
edible mascots, local edible
that
mascots?
were moose related. No, no,
No.
we did not.
That's because no one
That's
looks at a moose and goes, I would like to eat that.
Yeah, no. It's because it's
No,
terrifying.
it's too big. It's
I
too terrifying.
I do remember that in okay, this is gonna be a deep cut 80s. So in Gremlins 2, they
Mm-hmm.
go to a Canadian themed restaurant and there is a chocolate mousse like centerpiece as one of
Yes.
the food items and and everyone, all of the wait staff is, I believe, dressed like Mounties and
Mm-hmm.
and it's a very it's very
That might count.
but I don't think there was an advertisement for it. I don't even know if they ever mentioned the name of the restaurant, but it was a Canadian themed restaurant.
Oh, Entman's is on the list. Because if you buy a box of Entenmann's chocolate, there's that little center chocolate that's the Entenmann's delivery man.
Oh,
That's just a plain piece of chocolate.
I didn't realize that Entenmann's made chocolate. I thought they made
Isn't that the
I thought
yellow
they made
box of
baked
chocolates?
I thought they made Entenmann's made baked goods.
Hmm. I might be getting this wrong. It's a big box of yellow chocolate. Let's
I thought that
Google
was
big
something
box
with
of
it. I
yellow
thought that was
chocolate.
something with a W.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
I don't buy myself big boxes of chocolates often. Hold on. Box.
However, let's just okay, so maybe we pick a different anthropomorphic food character to
Oh, it's
worship.
Whitman's. You are correct. It's the Whitman sampler
Ah, the Whitman sampler.
that has the
Yes.
tiny man in the middle that you are to eat.
And that those
He's
chocolates are
carrying a box of Whitman's
those
chocolates.
chocolates are terrible.
And so you consume the flesh of the Whitman's man.
I Oh, you're just gonna really double down
You're
on
just
that,
not
aren't
going to get
you?
on board with this with me, are you?
No,
You are
no.
resisting my new idea for status and wealth.
Is that how we're gonna go for that?
I mean,
I've
look, I've been inside for a year. I no longer know how to connect with the outside world. And so starting a commune that's weirdly food/cannibalism based seems like not that far a step.
Well, so one of the things that I have been doing while we've been in lockdown is that so I've been doing the baking at the cafe, and I got really tired of making just plain boring muffins. You know,
Uh-uh.
like I I don't know how to make I just got tired of making muffins in the little muffin pans and things like that. So I have been making like skull muffins and bug muffins and uh some Marvel superhero muffins and some Star Wars character muffins and
Mm.
dinosaurs.
So, if I may, you've been baking effigies
Yes, I
that
guess
that
so.
people
Should I?
then consume.
Yes. So should I just? Oh, should I market them as that?
Yeah,
Do you
so
think
you're
people would?
already on board, is what I'm saying. You're already doing the work. We're here. You're using live yeast. That's
No,
very symbolic.
none of
She
this is
said with
live
no
yeast.
backing it up.
There's no live yeast involved in my muffins. What are you talking about?
I'm I mean, I knew that was a stretch when I said it, but I was trying to
I mean,
imply.
the sourdough cupcakes that I make.
There you go.
Technically, the sourdough is a
A
living,
live culture.
alive culture.
Something had to die in order for those muffins to be created, and then you eat of their flesh so that you may continue.
Yeah, but I don't make those into any shapes. Those are just so
Could you start?
I could, I guess.
Could you make them into little people shapes?
Maybe I have some skeleton.
If you
Cans.
made them into skeleton shapes, could you then put the icing on there like it's
Oh,
either
like
A,
it's a human?
flesh, or B, clothing? Or
I
C,
mean,
both?
I'm not that skilled in my frosting
All right.
techniques. That's
No,
actually
fair enough. Fair enough. That's
that's one of
fair.
the reasons why I've been making them the way that I do, because I have referred to my baking style as rustic baking.
All my cooking is rustic.
Yes, all my
Ah,
baking is rustic in that it tastes really good. It doesn't necessarily look
it
pretty.
looks like a hot mess.
Yeah, it might
Yes.
be a little
Ask
questionable.
the brisket I tried to make last night. Yeah, it's rustic brisket.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but I also I hate icing things, so it it's never gonna have icing on it.
Why do you
Even the
hate
cup,
icing things?
I hate it. I hate
Why?
icing. For one, historically, everything that I have ever had that has had icing on it, there's always too much icing.
Okay.
Always too much.
I mean,
I
I don't like icing, so I'm not going to argue with
yeah,
you about that. But most
yes.
people, icing is their favorite part.
Well, that's gross. I'm sorry. I'm taking
Like,
a
I don't care
stand.
what you like. What you like is nasty.
No, I'm so
Now eat my flesh muffins.
all the cupcakes that I have just have a dollop of frosting on it because that is as much frosting as I feel like you need. Have this dollop. If you want more,
You are already primed to be a cult leader.
my
Listen to
baking
yourself.
my baking is a cult. Is that what
No,
you're telling
what
me?
you like is bad. Let me give you what you actually need.
Oh,
There we are.
I'm I I feel very uncomfortable. This seems like something that my mother would want to do, and I am
We can
not.
make it
Maybe
we can
that's
make
why
it
I'm
easy.
slightly uncomfortable about the whole thing, because it's like this seems like a bad, scary road to go down, and
I mean, it's eventually, yeah, no, it's definitely gonna end with us occupying some kind of compound and possibly being murdered by the state. But other than that,
oh well.
I mean, you know,
I guess it'll be fun.
we can put it on TikTok. There's already one cult on TikTok. We can hop on that cult TikTok
I
bandwagon.
don't. I don't. Felt kind of felt like TikTok was its own cult.
No, but there's a for real cult
I
on TikTok and they ate a cat. I'm
oh
not gonna, no, no
no,
cat eating in
don't
our cult.
no, please no. Like I'm not a vegetarian, but I don't want to see that.
No, we're not eating any cats
I'm
in our
not that
cult.
desperate. I mean, not yet. Wait, was it somebody's pet? Or was it just a
No, it's
random pet?
it's actually a very upsetting story.
No, I don't want to
They're
hear.
telling this
No,
story
I don't.
on the
No,
show
don't
because
tell
it's
me. Don't.
actually
No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know the
because
details because it's gonna upset me.
animal cruelty is a hard line for both of
Yes.
us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
No. Ugh.
but yeah,
No.
but suffice to say, there is a TikTok cult, and suddenly my whimsical cult got a lot less funny. I
No.
was like, I brought up a real cult, and I made myself sad.
Yeah. Yep. It's not funny
Oh,
anymore. Oh, and this all started with inoculations and feeling better about the fact that some like within the next month or two, 2 months, we could actually physically be in the same room together.
I think that would be for the best because apparently when I'm on my own, it just goes wildly into left
Yeah,
field.
no, no, I we've already determined years ago that you need a control of some sort. I've
I
watched you
really
interact with
do.
other people. Mr. Ducky just lets you roll because he thinks it's
Yeah.
funny, and I'm left there going, Ducky, you were supposed to be helping me with this,
He's
and then I have
supposed to
to
be
show you,
wrangling that.
both funny cat videos to get the whole
Hmm.
thing distracted,
Yeah,
and
you can't
then
use my code word because my code word just makes me explain my code word, which is also then bad.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
My
There's
code
no
word is nipple belt.
yes,
FYI, speaking of cults.
and it's not helpful because I have tried to
Mm.
use that as a code word to get you to stop talking
Well, and
about
then I shut up, but then somebody inevitably asks why you brought up nipple belts, and then I'm like, let me tell you about Ed Gein.
right. It's
I'm off in
never
a new direction.
yes. Well, also sometimes I have said it to you and then you don't even pay attention to it and you just keep going. And I'm like
Too
standing
deep
there
in the hole.
and then I'm standing there repeating it like I have some weird Tourette's. where I just have to keep saying nipple belt over and over again, and then Mr. Ducky is standing there also just laughing and thinking it's hilarious.
He's like, oh, look at my baby and her broken brain go.
Yeah. Yeah. And
He just encourages it. He's like, tell him about soot rot, hun. Tell him about soot rot. And I'm like, okay. And I know no one wants to hear it, but I can't stop myself.
Right. Because it's like once you've started going, you can't.
Yep.
You
can't stop.
Can't uncork. You can't cork up that bottle.
No. No, that train has left the station. The brakes are broken.
It's true.
There's no track. That's not going to stop me.
It's true. And
we're going to careen off that cliff.
And on that note, I'm pressing a button.
This is Mad Wasp Radio.
Lady Attercop, I have something to tell you. And I don't want you to take it the wrong way, but...
Oh, I'm gonna. Too late.
I know. You probably
already gonna think about this at 3 a.m.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I don't think you know how to people anymore.
Oh, Emmett.
I mean,
the joke is on you. I never knew how to people.
I was about to say that. I mean, I knew what I was getting into.
Oh, you sweet summer child. You thought I was peopling good before the pandemic?
I was homeschooled. I didn't have a lot of reference.
Yeah.
You know.
This is why I'm your friend, because you don't understand how weird I am.
No, I don't. I think...
No. One of the things Emmett and I have both been exploring, our relationship with ourselves and the world at large. And one of the things I've learned about myself that everyone else is like, learned? That's a strong word. That's doing a lot of heavy lifting in this sentence. Is that I am most likely neurodivergent. We're dealing with some classic ADHD symptoms over in this vicinity.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And as many assigned female at birth folks have experienced that aren't necessarily loud and obnoxious because that got beat out of them very young as a child, by their peers. I wasn't particularly disruptive in class. I just went into a fantasy world deep in my own brain. So no one ever diagnosed me except for the several counselors later in life that said, oh, because of your ADHD. And I went, no, I don't. And all the other people who had ADHD that went, oh, because of your ADHD. And I went, oh, I don't have ADHD. And they went, oh.
You don't? That's funny. That's very interesting.
They didn't do that. They just went, oh. Like, that's going to be fun for you to discover later. Like, no, I don't. No, it's getting worse. Like, I had kind of some semblance of Mogwai living among the humans. Like, I've been raised by wolves, but I can ape being a person pretty okay. Because I had to learn to survive in society, and that's just going out the window.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I too, having lived amongst humans, I'm the one who gets sent out into the village.
You look like you're relatively normal. Go talk to that person out there.
Yeah. So I completely understand. But yes, as a person who was homeschooled by weirdos and often left to oneself, I had to kind of teach myself and learn how to emulate human society. This whole quarantine has definitely left me having some like questionable returns to that whole thing, and I am very, very grateful for the fact that I get to leave the house periodically to go bake things in the cafe, because if I didn't have any sort of outside interaction with anyone, who knows what horrible, weird monkey brain things I would.
Who knows how much we'd be living in the woods with Baloo.
Yeah. There was definitely a level of
There's some backsliding going on.
yeah. No, I look forward to being able to socialize with other people again, just so that I can be reminded of why I don't hang out with them normally.
Or at least just be reminded what social rules are.
Yes.
Like, maybe don't launch off onto a 15-minute tirade about how you're going to start a cult that's based on snack foods that want you to eat their flesh. It's a weird thing.
It's weird, but
Weird off-putting thing.
I don't know so much off-putting. Oh my gosh, maybe that should be the name of the cult. Off-putting.
Puddiing.
Yes. That's it.
This pudding,
It's
or it is of my
well,
weird
so
gelatinous flesh.
well, so in the British communities, pudding is a different thing than what we have pudding in the United States. It's a totally different element. It's a totally different food thing.
It is made of blood.
Yes, there's blood pudding, which is like a sausage.
So it's
Yes.
a British cult, is what you're saying.
Yes, maybe. Anyone?
So we need bat. Oh, this
Australia.
is us going back into the
I
bad
feel like
place.
it's Australia. Maybe it's an Australian cult.
Do Australians eat blood pudding? Aussies eat blood pudding?
I don't know. It's a British colony. Do British
Should I ask
colony
them in their native tongue?
Oh gosh.
Blood pudding. That's British. That's bad. Hold on. Can I do an Maybe I've lost the ability to do an Australian accent.
Practice your
Rocco's
Modern Life voice.
My Rocco's Modern Life voice. There it is. Good eye.
I always practice my Australian accent by going, Mrs. Walker, Captain Walker.
Captain Walker, Mrs. Walker. We are weird children.
That's the only that's the only
that's a
accent
Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome
reference for anyone who's not old enough to know what that is.
And if you have not treated yourself, please do. Tina Turner wears a dress that weighs approximately 150 pounds.
And
in heels.
She's marvelous.
In the desert. And then has a headdress on that probably weighs another 50 pounds. Because that wig was attached to those earrings. They actually shaved her bald to put that on her.
Oh.
But that's neither here nor there. Blood pudding was the question.
Yes. For our off-putting cult.
Our off-putting cult. Our
yes. Oft-pudding. As in often there is pudding. I don't know. I'm going off on a pun-tastic cult thing. No?
This cult seems a lot less appealing to me than it did before.
Oh.
The casing off. Got it. Brought it back around. No, that was terrible.
All right. Well. All right.
You're right. I've lost all ability to interact with normal humans in a normal way. I mean, what little ability I had to begin with. To interact with humans.
To be fair, the humans you interacted with most was me and Mr. Ducky, so...
Yeah, and you're both homeschooled.
Yes, we are.
So my track record wasn't great before I went into quarantine. It's gonna be even less good coming out of it.
Yeah.
What I have discovered, because I have been going to school and I've been working the entire time with the public, touching the public, not in a weird way.
No.
I work at a salon. I've been washing their hair, shampooing their hair. I just wanted to say it weird because it would be funny. I have gotten way stranger as the pandemic has just kind of kept steamrolling on. And what I have noticed is that people are more receptive to that weird right now. I don't know if it's because they're starved for human interaction. And they're just like, I don't care. This weird ginger can make these bad jokes at me and I find it charming. Or if everybody is just kind of leaning into their inner gonzo, inner weirdo.
So my theory, so bear with me for a moment. My theory is that everyone is weird secretly. Every human has those same weird thoughts. they're just conditioned not to say them out loud. They
That's
have
a
just
possibility.
gotten, they've just gotten, well, as you said earlier, it's just been beaten out of them to not, to not,
By social stigma.
right, to not express those weird thoughts. And the fact that because of their social isolation and all of the various things that we have been doing to stay safe and healthy
Right.
has has forced them all to come to that realization that maybe, just maybe, the weird people that they knew before might not have been as weird as they thought they were.
It's a possibility.
I know that I personally have had a lot of inner growth, mental, self exploratory things going on in my existence that have made me go, oh, I've been alone with my thoughts for a while, and suddenly things,
Maybe too long.
maybe too long, and suddenly things that I didn't think about have suddenly become real, and now I have realized things, like,
And now you have to actualize that new perspective
right.
on your reality.
Well, it's also, and then you also start looking back on all of your past behavior and past things and going, oh,
Oh
all of
man,
this makes sense
really
suddenly.
should have been obvious about the ADHD. I
Yeah.
had my siblings and I all had the same third grade teacher, and me and the three siblings that came afterwards all had the same like sitting and staring off into the middle distance problem that she called the Attercop sit and stare.
Yeah.
Like that it was so pronounced. It's such a common feature of our presence in her classroom that it got a name.
Yeah. Wow.
Good old Attercop sit and stare.
Oh.
We all also do that thing where we're bored and doing something monotonous. So we start entertaining ourselves in our head. So all you see is us doing a mundane physical activity. And then all of a sudden we go, with no external implication about what we're laughing about. It's just a random laugh in the middle of nothing. And then we go back to nothing.
Oh.
Because I have done that and people are like, what are you laughing about? And it's really hard to explain that. I was like, oh, well, I was thinking back to when I was in 5th grade and my dad bought me this Archie comic, and I was thinking about that one where Betty becomes a goth and it's a chai tea that turns her into a goth. That's just kind of funny. And I was chuckling about that plot line. And then I started thinking about Betty and Veronica and about how maybe the reason that they were so, like were locked into this love-hate relationship with Archie in the center is because they actually wanted to date each other, and he was just like the catalyst for them spending time in this kind of like, anyway, yeah, so could you pass the lettuce?
Strangely, I've had that exact thought when watching Riverdale.
I just had to stop watching Riverdale because the characters had sex, and that upset me. This is not a bit, this is a true story. Like, I was so on board for like Twin Peaks for kids with Riverdale. The soundtrack was good. I was like, I'm digging this. And then they started doing the dirt, and I got very uncomfortable. And I had to nope out.
Yeah, I can see
So I
that.
didn't see past season 1.
That's fine.
I made it. Where was it? Archie and Veronica that have sex, or maybe Betty and Jughead? Which Jughead should not be having sex with anyone.
No.
Excuse you.
Yeah, no, it's true.
But I will accept him being in a biker gang, but he is not having sex.
It's where I draw the line.
Asexual, please.
Yes.
This representation is important. I'm now your Midwestern mom.
Oh God, no.
No, I got really. That's not even. I got really.
I know.
About
No,
it.
I know because I remember you. I remember when it happened, and you
It was like.
and you said
Archie had sex, and I had to turn the TV
I
show
don't
off.
like that. No, I feel. I also, as a grown up, old, like as a middle-aged woman, I feel really uncomfortable watching shows for teenagers where they have sex because
Well,
there
I
is
mean, all those actors are like 38.
Yeah, no.
So that was fine.
No,
But
the fact that they're being represented as being teenagers, it felt a little pervy to me. So
felt a little
yeah,
voyeuristic.
like I'm not comfortable. I mean, I wouldn't have been comfortable if I was in teenage years watching this. I am certainly not comfortable now being as old as the parents in the show. Like the parents have sex way
Literally.
less.
It's when is Skeet gonna get some action?
Oh God, no! I don't even want to think about that.
What is his last name?
Ulrich. Skeet Ulrich. Why do I know that? I don't even. How do I know that? I don't know. I don't think I've ever even until Riverdale. I don't even know what else he has been in.
He was in a lot of shows in the 90s.
Was he?
Yeah.
He is not a name that he is just in my consciousness as a 90s thing, but I have no recollection of ever watching anything with him in it. But yet I know the name.
This is proof of consciousness that we did not actively seek out.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Oh,
yeah.
Cult stuff.
It's true. Is it a Skeet Ulrich cult?
Skeet Ulrich is the Jungian theory of the 90s.
Oh God.
And with unconscious knowledge that we are all born with. Generation X, I'm sorry.
It's gonna be Skeet for you.
It's Skeet Ulrich.
I'm sure he's a lovely person. His name is.
I hope he is, because man, his name makes him sound like a dirtbag.
Yes. Also, it just makes me think of Mosquito.
It makes me think he works in a 7-Eleven somewhere, and it's just a disreputable. And it's not even a real 7-Eleven. It's like 7-10.
Right, or 7-11.
Yeah, like a 7-11. Yeah. It's like some sketchy kind of like knockoff. It's on the side of a highway and a trailer park. And I have in Florida, and I have definitely bought cigarettes there at 2 a.m. before.
And on that note, I think it's time to say goodbye. Before Skeet Ulrich's lawyer comes for us. For defamation of character. And with that, this has been the Clockwork Cabaret. She is Lady Attercop.
And she is Emmett Davenport.
And it's not work we do.
It's love.
Do you feel the need to deliver terrifying yet adorable death at a distance? Do you mourn the lack of weapons that fire deadly animals? If so, then pick up Lord Evan's Drop Bear Cannon today. Drop bears are the carnivorous cousins of the gentle koalas who infest the invisible ant. When exposed to the scent of blood, these small bears turn into small balls of fur and death. The Drop Bear launcher safely contains these dangerous animals, and with a clockwork-powered catapult engine will propel these small deadly creatures directly into your enemies. Terrify your enemies, acquaintance, and social workers with Lord Evan's Drop Bear Cannon. Make your guests stare in awe at your terrifying masculinity as you hold up an enormous cannon and drive away pesky foes with nature's perfect weapon, the Drop Bear.
Lord Evans is not responsible for any injuries that may be suffered while loading the patented Drop Bear Cannon. Extreme caution is advised when handling. In the case of a misfire, please contact our specialized maintenance crews with your loud, terrified screams.
Ask for it by name at your local gun range. Buy now, receive an extra cage of Drop Bears.
Oh. I wonder what'll happen if I press this button.
Don't.
Oh.
What happened?
A sign lit up saying,
You're listening to Mad Wasp Radio.